My name is Victor, and this is the chilling account of how I unwittingly encountered the infamous Butcher of Rostov, Andrei Chikatilo. In the late summer of 1984, I was a young journalist eager to make a name for myself. The disappearances and brutal murders of women and children in the Rostov region had sent shockwaves through the community, and I felt a deep responsibility to bring these heinous crimes to light. One afternoon, while visiting the crime scenes in the outskirts of the city, I stumbled upon an old, abandoned factory. It had an eerie aura about it, as if it were haunted by the echoes of unspeakable horrors. Intrigued and driven by my journalistic instincts, I decided to investigate further. As I entered the decrepit building, a cold shiver ran down my spine. The air was thick with dust and a pungent odor that made my stomach churn. Broken glass and crumbling walls surrounded me as I made my way through the darkness. Suddenly, I heard a faint sound, like a rustling in the distance. My heart raced, and I instinctively reached for my camera, hoping to capture any evidence of the butcher's presence. I moved cautiously, my senses on high alert. The echoes of footsteps seemed to follow me, but whenever I turned, there was nothing there. I attributed it to my imagination running wild in the macabre setting. As I ventured deeper into the maze of decayed hallways, I stumbled upon a hidden room, concealed behind a rotting door. Intrigued yet unnerved, I pushed it open and found myself face to face with a horrifying sight. The room was littered with discarded clothing, personal items, and a sinister collection of photographs scattered on the floor. My heart sank as I realized that I had stumbled upon the butcher's lair, a place where he had committed unspeakable acts of violence. Fear gnawed at me, but I knew I couldn't turn back now. This discovery could be the key to unraveling the truth behind the butcher's identity. With trembling hands, I began to photograph the room and its grim contents, determined to expose the monster behind these atrocities. Time seemed to blur as I worked, the adrenaline driving me forward. But as I prepared to leave, I heard a faint sound from the darkness outside the room. It was the same rustling I had heard before, but this time, it was closer, more menacing. My heart pounded in my chest as I realized that I was not alone. The butcher was in the building with me, and there was no escape. Panic gripped me, and I sought refuge in the shadows, hoping to evade his notice. Minutes felt like hours as I hid, my breath shallow and my body trembling. I knew I couldn't stay hidden forever, but the fear of what awaited me outside that room was paralyzing. Then, as if fate itself had intervened, I heard a distant siren, the sound of approaching police cars. My heart leapt with hope, and I knew that this was my chance to escape. But just as I began to make my way toward the exit, I heard footsteps drawing nearer. The butcher was closing in, and I was running out of time. In a desperate attempt to evade him, I hid in a small alcove, my heart pounding in my ears. I could hear him now, his heavy breathing and the rustling of his clothes echoing through the darkness. My mind raced, searching for a way out, but the walls felt like they were closing in on me. It was as if the factory itself conspired to keep me trapped with the butcher. Then, I saw a glimmer of hope, a small opening in the wall, barely big enough for me to squeeze through. With a surge of adrenaline, I made my move, praying that I could escape the butcher's grasp. As I squeezed through the narrow opening, I felt a sharp pain in my side, but I didn't dare stop. I could hear him getting closer, and I knew that every second counted. Finally, I emerged from the other side, gasping for breath, my clothes torn and my body bruised. I had escaped the clutches of the Butcher of Rostov, but the horrors I had witnessed would forever haunt me. I made my way to the police cars, my mind a whirlwind of emotions. The officers were startled by my appearance, but I managed to show them the photographs I had taken in the butcher's lair. The images spoke volumes, and the police realized that they had finally found a lead in their hunt for the butcher. They quickly mobilized, and a massive manhunt ensued. Weeks passed, and the city lived in fear as the butcher remained elusive. But the evidence I had provided ultimately led to his capture. Andrei Chikatilo, the Butcher of Rostov, was arrested in November 1990. He was later convicted of 52 murders and executed in February 1994. But even with the butcher behind bars, the horrors of that day never left me. I became plagued with nightmares, haunted by the faces of the victims and the darkness that had enveloped that abandoned factory. I left journalism soon after, unable to bear the weight of the darkness I had witnessed. Instead, I sought solace in helping others through advocacy work for victims of violent crimes. To this day, I can't shake the feeling that the butcher's malevolence still lingers, waiting for an opportunity to strike again. The shadows of that fateful day continue to follow me, a chilling reminder that evil can wear the mask of an ordinary man. The Butcher of Rostov is gone, but the scars he left behind will never fade. And as I continue to carry the weight of that night with me, I can't help but wonder if evil truly can be vanquished or if it simply lies dormant, waiting for the right moment to resurface. If you like the content, please like and subscribe. Leave any true crime suggestion in the comments down below.